you could sell a home for $5 million and make more money technically than $10 million home. It just depends what your cost is and what the land costs. So
it's tricky. If you build a $20 million house, like that's kind of spooky. If you don't get out of it, or you're not going to make as much as you want.
There's nothing cooler than some random person coming up to you or just talking about your product in like a positive way. It's exciting building these like mansion looking things, and the people that buy them are super interesting people. Met some really cool people, big CEOs, people with a lot of money, obviously. Yeah, fascinating business for sure.
Oh, welcome to another CashFlow Quest. We got a fun guest. Cole Mueller, real estate developer, came out with a peanut butter tequila that I'm eager to try. Sounds interesting. Welcome.
How's it going? Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Good to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Before we get started with like fun questions, can you tell us and the listeners a little bit about yourself? Where are you from and what's your background?
Born and raised in San Diego, California, from Solana Beach. Grew up here all my life. Went to Cathedral Catholic High School.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was a baseball player growing up. Played in high school, then ended up going to UC Santa Barbara. Played Division I ball there.
Nice.
Just got back from there actually last weekend. Had my alumni weekend there, so it was fun to play and scrimmage the team, and great. A lot of beers are drinking, and had a good time seeing all the alumni and the players now. And yeah, it's cool. The program's like really taking off, so they're nationally ranked every year, and it's fun to follow them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara is a fun school too. I mean, with sports, it was more serious, but there's some major partying that happens there. So your tequila probably is a hit.
Yeah. Lived on Del Playa in Isla Vista right on the cliff with 18 guys in a house and a small husky puppy.
Aww.
So it was fun. School's hard, academics wise. So had to hit the library a lot, but we had fun while we can. And I think the baseball kept me, my life structured and on track.
What position did you play in baseball?
I was a catcher in corner and field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of friends that play like in the minors, couple in the bigs, and it's fun to follow those guys still. And after playing last weekend, I'm kind of like want to go to the cages from time to time or play some pickup games.
Just kind of get back into it because it's got to be all the years you were in it. It's got to be missed. You miss it. Yeah.
And so you enjoyed playing again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's fun. It's like the competitive aspect. I'm really into like, now coming off of baseball, I still really into like weightlifting and running and doing different competitive things outside of baseball, but still having that kind of like camaraderie and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which carries over into, all aspects of life for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Being from Solana Beach, you surf a lot?
I grew up surfing. Yeah. I'm not, I don't surf that much anymore. Putting on all the wetsuit and stuff in the winter. I'm probably like a seasonal surfer.
Yeah. I'm a weekend warrior when the water's warm.
Summertime rolls around, it's 70 degrees. I got the board shorts on. I'll go catch a surf. Not doing like 360s or anything, but I'm goofy foot, so I go left and have a good time.
Get a workout in. It's nice to be in the water and get some workout in for sure. Yeah.
No, I just went to that Palm Springs surf park and it was really cool. And then there's one in Arizona now. They're fun. Yeah. They're like water park, like new version of a water park.
And they're doing them in places that get super hot because it's a fun way to cool off and have some fun in the water too when it's hotter than hot outside.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those look awesome. I've heard of the one in Palm Springs. I want to go check it out sometime.
It's cool. You had to wear a wetsuit, which was kind of like, I figured like, oh, they probably heat it. It was cold.
Oh, interesting.
So like it was definitely different than I anticipated, but it was super fun and the waves were unreal. I like the middle of the pool when it crashes, it'll take you down because it's a nice hollow wave. Yeah. So I'm like getting worked. I'm like, what the hell? This fake wave just took me down 10 feet to the bottom of a pool, and it's like, wow, okay, this is no joke. Like it's not like a kiddie wave. Like it's. Yeah. So it's only head high,
Yeah. No, those are fun. I know they got one. I see they have one in Texas now, and it seems like they're
Waco
building them all over the place now.
Yeah.
Bringing surfing to the places where you can't surf.
Right.
Well, and there's like these nice bars on it. It's gonna be
doing
cool.
like concerts. I remember they did this thing called Splash House, and they're doing concerts at that wave pool in Palm Springs now, and they got DJs and looks really fun.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you transitioned out of baseball and in school and you got into real estate development first. Is that kind of?
Yeah. My dad growing up, he was a big developer. So, growing up, apart from playing baseball, doing school, whatever, I was surrounded kind of by like that business as a whole.
Got it.
I would, do manual labor, learn a lot of different trades, framing, window installation, things like that. So I've always been around that, always seemed like something interesting to go into. And kind of graduating college during COVID, kind of the world shut down for a little bit. Done playing baseball. That was kind of my time to kind of figure out what I wanted to do then. And I already had kind of like that lead going into it. And then it's some exciting work. It's kind of like creating these like pieces of art, especially spec home building.
Oh, totally.
It's exciting building these like mansion looking things. And the people that buy them are super interesting people. Met some really cool people, big CEOs, people with a lot of money, obviously. It's fascinating business for sure.
So is that what they did? They would, like, a group would buy these like kind of distressed homes, these like, I'm assuming like Rancho Santa Fe or, places like that are distressed and need some flipping done to then. No,
I mean, these renovate? Are all like ground up, just pieces of land or an old home. Maybe we knock down and build a brand new home, ultra luxury, big sliding glass doors. We're bringing in materials from like Italy and really high profile type homes.
Yeah. So to paint the picture, what's the average sale price?
In San Diego that we do, it's anywhere from probably 5 to 15 million.
Okay.
We do projects in Napa that go north of like 20.
That's cool.
And then we're doing one in Malibu right now that's can probably be listed for like 30. Seems like lately, the past couple of years, the number's been going up. We're looking at really massive deals. Miami, we're looking at like, 40, 50 million sometimes. So
wow,
just depends.
What do you buy a lot for in that realm? Like what's
San Diego, it's obviously more expensive, probably like in the $3 to $4 million range lately. Napa Valley, the dirt's a lot cheaper, probably like the $1 million to $2 million range.
Interesting.
Just depends, but it's all about the profit margin. Just, you could sell a home for $5 million and make more money technically than a $10 million home. It just depends what your cost is and what the land costs. So yeah.
Sure.
The exit price doesn't really matter so much as the profit margin.
Mm-hmm. Which, it's tricky. If you build a $20 million house, like that's kind of spooky if you don't get out of it, or, you're not going to make as much as you want. Yeah.
It's just all comes down to that margin and kind of like that buffer, of, okay, well, it goes south, what's your low range that, you don't want to lose money, but also you're putting 1 to 2 years of your time into this. So you want to make money. So it's kind of like just figuring that out. You can get into a lot of trouble in spec home building, but that's why it just comes down to really analyzing the deal before you do it, knowing the right people, working with like the right brokers, and usually finding stuff off market is the way to go. Because if it gets on the market, it's going to get bid up, loses its value. So it's all through like networking with people, get a call from a broker. Hey, I got this so-and-so person, off market, kind of get in there early, get it at a good price. Anytime it hits the market, it's usually not really going to work out.
And that's just the land.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, old home on there, maybe like in Del Mar, we did a home. It was an old vacant home on there. Been there for 50 years. Great lot, great view. Knock that thing down, get some new plans in there, build some modern contemporary looking thing with, bachelor pad type feel, and give it that like Beverly Hills look and prime Del Mar ocean view. That's how you get those buyers moving in. And then, you look for, all right, well, what else is coming on the market here? We got this house at 10 million, this house at 12, ours is going to be 14. Those houses are 6, 7, 10 years old. Ours is brand new construction. Mm-hmm. There's a premium for new construction to a buyer. So, great. Our house is going to be the only new home on the market, new construction, this price point. That's good. So when people look to buy a home in Del Mar, we're the only option.
Yeah. Brand new too.
There's not a brand new product in those areas right now. So, and 100% brand new. Everybody likes new. And so that brings that value. Yeah.
So who do you guys use to sell? Is there a particular brokerage that you use to sell?
I mean, we work with all different kinds of brokers. Like if a broker brings me a deal, kind of work something out where I'll give him the listing for him finding the deal kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that gets, brokers coming to us more knowing that they have that opportunity. There are a few top tier brokers we do work with in certain areas, but sometimes we'll sell it ourselves too. There's websites you can pay like $100 just to put it on the MLS, and we'll be building the house. It could be in the framing stage, and there'd be buyers. They see the renderings, they see finished product's going to look like, and they pre-buy it. And
got it.
that kind of thing. So
does that happen a lot?
Probably like 50-50. It just depends.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes they want to see, people need to like visually see the home done.
Yeah.
Which is why they'll wait till it's, we got the cabinets going in and the tile and the paint, and, they can kind of see what they're buying.
Get a better feel.
Yeah, it just depends.
Well, yeah, you probably have a waiting list on certain locations where it's like, what are you building? Right. I'm in.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like the market is so competitive in this area. So, people are just trying to get into the area. They might buy a shack, in Solana Beach, but they just want to get into Solana Beach because there's not enough homes, and so it just depends, really. Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
So I'm asking out of ignorance, do you use any debt or do you do all cash? Like when you're...
Yeah, construction financing, usually like 70-30 loan to cost. We work with big private equity companies, like Genesis Capital is one of them. And we'll get debt and depending on how many projects we're doing at a time, like right now we're doing like 8 to 10. So we'll get investors involved, offer them like great returns, and they get to be a part of this really cool spec home project that might be more exciting than like an apartment deal or something like that, so it's interesting for
shorter
sure.
term too, right?
It's shorter. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on the home size, it could take anywhere from like a year to build, sometimes 15 months.
Okay.
There's also that buffer for when it's done. It might take a little longer to sell based off the price point. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a couple year, if you have investors.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably the RMCI Group, we're probably the premier spec home, I would say, building company in like Southern California or like San Diego area. And
what's the company name? Or
RMCI.
Okay.
Yeah. But we've been expanding. Like I'm looking at deals in Cabo right now, Miami. We're doing stuff up in Belvedere, which is like the northern part of San Francisco.
Okay. Heard of it.
Just kind of tapping into that Malibu market.
What do you think about the fires?
Yeah. Did it affect that area at all?
No, our project's really north. It's almost like Ventura County.
Oh, okay.
It's on the beach too. So it's not really in a big burn area.
Okay.
So it's way further north from where the fire happened?
Yeah, probably 10 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. But I mean, now with the, the Palisades and everything, kind of how it's transpired, and it's been, terrible, obviously, but there's going to be, talks of how we rebuild this place now. And there's definitely room for people like us, or might be tons of clients wanting to rebuild homes and things like that. So that's kind of something we've been looking into now in the past week or so.
Yeah. What does that look like from a home builder's perspective? What are you guys thinking about all that? More of a global picture.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely areas to work in there. And I think it just kind of comes down to what the city is going to do with all the coastal commission, how long it's going to take to get permits and stuff. And I know there's real estate agents kind of coming out and talking about, it seems unreasonable for the same rules to apply for those areas.
Does the coastal commission go up there? Go up to?
Yeah. I mean, like in Malibu, it takes like 5 to 7 years to get plans approved. It's like insane. If you have an RTI deal in Malibu, it's gold. Our project was pretty insane because it's actually in Ventura County.
Okay. So you went right above the line.
Yeah. So we're like Ventura County. So our rules don't apply to that. I came in, found the deal, negotiated with the seller, like, hey, I'll buy your lot. I'll put a deposit down. And we kind of figured out a way where I didn't have to close on the deal until we got entitlements, which, helps out with the construction interest and things like that. It only took a year to get plans drawn, and now we started building 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
But in Malibu, that'd be like a 5-year. Yeah, not worth it. And just because of all that process too, which is good for developers. There's not like a lot of end users kind of going in and buying lots. They don't want to do it themselves and spend 3 years of their life building this home. Yeah. It's a lot of work for people. And
investors don't want to wait that long either.
Yeah.
So it's just
for an end user, I figured out like people with a lot of money don't want to really do things, and they're lazy in that department.
Yeah. They focus over there where they're making money.
Yeah. They want the final products, which is good for us. So we build the product for them and we deliver it to them with the forks and the knives and everything in there. And they just got to put their clothes in the closet, and here's the key, and wire the money and move in. So that's let's
get easier than that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and it's expensive to do remodels. She just did a remodel, and it's like, man, when you're not a professional in that, it's a lot. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a lot that goes into, especially if you don't know what you're doing, and working with a GC, it can be, there's a lot of good GCs out there. There's probably a lot of bad ones, and sometimes you can get into a lot of trouble and overspending, and things go wrong, and just turns into a giant problem for you.
Yeah, there's
So-
always unforeseen things that come up in a project like that, for sure. Yeah.
Are you guys your own GC?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, we do that, but some projects will actually outsource another GC as well. So like Malibu, I have a GC doing that project. So I'll still have like my eyes in it, you know, still working with the GC, but they're doing everything day to day versus like San Diego, run the projects, sub out every trade, have like some loyal, trusted superintendents that are at the jobs every day. Same with Napa, same thing, have superintendents up there, but sub everything out. So, because if you're with a GC, you know, you sign that contract for, you know, whatever it is, you're kind of locked in with them. And if one trade kind of goes wrong, it can mess things up versus if you sub everything out, you know, maybe the plumber messes up or does this or that. It's only one trade. You might lose some money, but it's not going to kill the deal.
Yeah.
So it's probably safer if you do it yourself. But like you know, we live down here. We're not in Malibu.
Right.
So if you have,
And so Napa, are you guys there a lot?
yeah, my family lives up there.
Oh, okay.
So we go up there a lot, once or twice a month, and see the family. And my uncle actually runs the projects up there, so it's kind of a little good family business going up there. So
Cool.
it all kind of makes sense, and it's good.
Boots on the ground up there.
Yeah.
Everyone's got eyes.
Yeah, you need people at the projects every day. There's always stuff going on.
yeah.
And towards the end of the build, 2-3 months out, it's like you got 10 different trades in there all doing things.
And they all have little questions that have to be addressed, and somebody's got to be making all those decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Cool.
Fun. So 8 to 10 going mostly here, or what's the?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2-3 here, about to be like 4 in Napa, 1 in Malibu. And then we're, you know, looking in Cabo and Miami. So it's always kind of in that range of like 5 to 8 to 10. It's just, yeah. Well, I'm trying to grow, you know, if we can use more GCs and really expand and be doing, you know, 10, 20 projects at a time, that'd be awesome. So it's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there an end goal to it? Like roll up and have a bunch of rental properties, or is it just to continue to spool?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely with the spec homes. You know, you're kind of getting this payout of like a wad of cash, you know, every like 1, 2, 3 years, and then either deploy it into the next spec home deal, or I've been thinking about allocating funds into, you know, maybe multifamily or more monthly cash flow type deals. And then, you know, maybe taking half, putting it there, and then half back into spec home deals. Obviously the spec home deals, if done right, are way better returns, but you're not getting paid till the project's done and sold. So, you know, it's, to some investors, it's, you know, they like seeing that monthly cash flow.
That's why I asked, because it seems like it's awesome. Like the returns are great.
Right.
It's more of like your active business, right? Like you're generating a lot of revenue and or income, but it's earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not passive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's, it's considered when you do these spec home deals, the tax differences too, because it's not considered capital gains. It's like ordinary income. So you get, especially in California, you get, you know, you can make a lot of money on a deal, but you get taxed heavily on it. So
sure.
Maybe trying to allocate some of that to
some depreciation.
Yeah, multifamily or even like I'm looking into like self-storage warehouses or things like that. So
so we've come at it from the other side. I'd say you're the ultra sexy fun stuff, you know, and we're trailer park people, you know. We're like, I was literally like, you know, in trailer parks fixing them up at 18, 19, you know, and so we have 2,500 units of mobile home parks. And so it's like we're kind of coming from two different angles. Yeah. And we were so focused on the cash flow piece. Yeah. I have a lot of friends in storage and multi. And so that's just interesting to hear your side of it. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, the spec homes, you're building these crazy masterpieces. You got the flashy agents and the high profile buyers and just all the bells and whistles that you would see in a house that, you know, you walk in and you're like, holy crap, this is insane, you know? And
the selling sunset type stuff. You know?
It's literally what it is. And you get the, you know, the cool drone videos and all that kind of cool Instagram stuff. And you know, it's sexier, it's fun, it's flashy, it's entertaining.
It is. Yeah. It is. My wife watches it, and I look at these like hot rod realtors, the girls. I'm just like, whoa, they are living in a different world. You know how they show up to these job sites in their heels. Hey, no shame, no blame, but like it's just like, wow. You know,
they make good money selling these houses and doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I work with a realtor up in up in Northern California, and it's like, she just knows the wealthy people, so they call her to sell the homes, and that's, I think, the part of being a successful real estate agent is they call you, being connected, having a network. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They got like their teams that do all the back end work and the Instagram, and it just comes down to knowing the right people.
Yeah.
It's all on who you know and the relationship, and then maintaining relationships.
Yeah. So now you're thinking about ways to diversify and create other streams of income for yourself.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Learning about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, mobile home parks is a great place to put it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so tell us about the peanut butter tequila.
Yeah,
where did this idea come from?
Yeah, went to school with a group of Hispanic families and was friends with these guys who they, Herradura Tequila, the grandson, and I had this trip planned to go down to Tequila and just kind of check it out. In Jalisco, you fly into like Guadalajara, and then you drive like 2 hours up into the mountains into town Tequila. It looks like Napa Valley, but all agave fields. There's a big volcano. It's like 5,000-6,000 feet.
Is the tequila there really good?
Yeah, it's like you do tequila tasting tours. Cuervo has a really cool hotel. Pretty cheap area. You can go down there. It's not that expensive. It's like 2-hour drive from Puerto Vallarta. So my friend, he connected me with some distilleries down there. And connected with one called Leiros Distillery, and did like a tour there and kind of told the master distiller, like I wanted to create my own tequila, like my own samples kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And from there actually started a brand called Octavio, which was centered around just kind of wanted to create my own tequila brand, just kind of for fun as like a hobby. And so got it certified with like the CRT, which is the Tequila Regulatory Council, and did all that, created a brand behind it. Actually ended up naming it Octavio after a bartender down in a little town called Los Barriles, which is an hour outside of Cabo on the Sea of Cortez, like a small beach town. My parents always took me to this palapa bar growing up. Okay. There's a bartender there that's been there forever. He's like 80 years old, named Octavio. Nice. So I named the brand after him.
I love that.
Yeah. Did that for, kind of did that for a year, got into some stores, got distribution, realized the tequila space is super competitive. There's like all the celebrity brands coming out, 6,000-7,000 brands. It's tough to kind of penetrate the market. You need a lot of marketing dollars, or, just know the right people. And so from there was kind of like, how can I, create something different, something new that could stand out and be unique in the market. And I was allergic to peanut butter my whole life until 2 or 3 years ago. And grew out of the allergy. Started loving peanut butter, obviously.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And so I was like, I like this peanut butter thing. I have the tequila already. I was kind of looking into like flavored tequilas. I saw people doing like citrusy, kind of like lemon, lime things. I tried them. They're okay. It was kind of like, at that point, might as well make like a margarita though or something.
Right.
So I need to do something like super different, kind of out of the box. And my buddy one time was like, what if you took peanut butter and tequila and like kind of put it together, and see what happened? And I was like, yeah, I mean, if that was a thing, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So I already have the tequila, which is the base. Now I just need to figure out how to create this like, peanut butter thing. And that comes down to working with like a flavor house, basically. Okay. So I went to one and spent a lot of time out there, and gave them the tequila and was like, hey, I want this to taste like a peanut butter tequila. And so they're all like scientists and like PhDs from like France. There's a lot of like these guys come from France, and they're all in lab coats, and we're in like a lab room and
pouring them shots.
Yeah, we're just like doing this thing all day long. And it honestly, like probably the first month, it didn't taste that great. There's a lot of like things we had to do to it. And basically I would just take samples and then, go back to San Diego and go to like golf courses and have like jugs of this solution. Everyone's with their flask playing golf, drinking Fireball and Screwball or whatever, and like I would just be like, hey, try this, like, what do you think of this? And that's kind of like the beta around testing of the product and how I like kind of ended up getting the formulation right and making changes based off what people said. Right. Oh, it's too sweet. It's too tequila. It's not enough tequila. It's like, it tastes like butterscotch, this or that. And so we're just like tweaking the ingredient, adding this and that until, after a couple months, we finally got, something that I really liked, and then took it out into the market and had hundreds of people try it. And they're like, wow, this is really good. It's like a nice sweet shot. It's easy to drink. You taste the tequila, but it's so easy to drink. It has not like that burn effect or anything like that. So that was like kind of the first part. And then the second part is creating what are we going to call this thing?
Yeah.
What's the brand going to look like? That's a whole nother battle, which might actually be more important than the actual product and how it tastes itself.
Yeah,
so I was looking into
marketing.
like branding companies and things like that. And they'll charge like an arm and a leg, to do all that, especially in the US. So tried to get smart, and I looked out of country and found these 3 brothers on Fiverr out of Brazil. And they do a lot of really cool alcohol branding, mostly for wine bottles and things like that. One of the brothers does like architecture, which he's actually recently now been doing renderings for my homes, which is cool.
Nice.
But they have like a brand design company that do logos and labels and for products. And I reached out to them, and they, I love their work, and we just kind of hit the ground running and started working together. And our first renditions of what the label and everything kind of looked like, didn't look anything like it does now. But I told him like, yeah, I think I want like, an animal involved, and it's going to be like this funny kind of out there brand. It's going to be unique. And, looking at color schemes, like what is the customer into these days? What colors like resonate with the buyer, like taking all that into account and coming up with the name too. Everything seems to be like trademarked these days. So, I'd think of a name and send it to my trademark lawyer, and he's like, well, yeah, this isn't taken, but it's kind of similar to this, and these guys have a lot of money, so they might just like sue you, and it's like this whole thing. So it's like figuring that out. And then probably like 3-4 months after, we spit out this squirrel looking thing with this label, and I thought of Monty because Monty means peanut in Spanish, and I wanted to have it maybe have like that ball name in it because it's like a shot drink, something that like rolls off the tongue, easy to say. Yeah. But kind of has that like Mexican tied into it, Hispanic language with the Monty. So Maniball. And then the squirrel kind of derived from just kind of like, I think everyone really likes squirrels, to be honest. After creating the brand, like a lot of people like squirrels, and squirrels are, funny and have like that sneaky kind of like fast jittery pace to them.
And they like nuts, or they're like always kind of doing
and they like nuts
and,
and all that. And so that's kind of how all that came to be. And I remember when we finally got kind of like the last PowerPoint presentation of the label and everything, I was like, oh, I love that blue. I love that like red orange thing. And the squirrel is funny and it looks cool. And I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And then, a lot of other people enjoyed the branding as well. And our tagline is kind of like dare to go nuts, which is kind of based on the squirrel and the nuts, but
so on point.
Also like dare to go nuts with like, your lifestyle and like the drinking and, get the night started kind of shot,
Yeah. Totally.
So that's kind of all that centered around, and locking in the supply chain with the bottles, the labels, everything, getting that dialed in, the product formulation, finding we had the distillery, the tequila, the co-packer to kind of like bring the solution all together, make it shelf stable.
So what was the final name? Just because
Maniball.
Maniball.
Yeah, Maniball.
Just confirming.
Yeah.
Maniball peanut butter tequila. And then from there, instantly got traction in the Southern California market, got a lot of interest from distributors, which wasn't a thing necessarily with Octavio, just because just another tequila at the end of the day, even though it's a really good tequila and people enjoy it. But yeah, the peanut butter just kind of was a hit. And
well, people love peanut butter, and people really like tequila too. And so to put the two together, people are like, what? I need to try that. Like it's an instant, like, I want to try that.
And you don't really take a shot of Screwball. Like it never really, or at least at bars, I never really seen anybody do that. It's like,
or you're ordering a margarita or something else with tequila in it. Yeah. So it's definitely a niche that you guys.
I created it as a shot drink, but when I created the brand, I didn't even think about this, but it goes great in cocktails too, from like a espresso martini standpoint, like a peanut butter espresso martini. We do like carajillos with it. It's even like a Manhattan kind of thing, or dessert drinks, boozy brunches. People put in like their ice cream, milkshakes. I've seen all kinds of stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it has like that. I've seen people put it on pancakes. Just kind of like picked up from that like uniqueness, and buyers were willing to take it in because they didn't have a peanut butter tequila, and and that's how it kind of grew. And since then it's got, interest, and that's kind of how it now turned into where it is now with, like a larger company like taking over it. And I'm excited to see what they do and the firepower they can bring to do things that I can never do with my connections or resources or capabilities. And I think, this year we'll really see some big growth in the company, and hopefully the next 2-3 years you see it, all around the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you do that like solely for a little while and then you got back into real estate then?
Yeah, I was still doing like the real estate stuff, but yeah, the tequila was definitely taking up hours of the day, and I was traveling around to different states that we were in and meeting with distributors, doing distributor presentations.
Flavor houses.
And we had a team, like we had people within the Maniball company that, you know, were working full time. And so I was managing that. And now stemming outside of, you know, that kind of moving on, I'm now, you know, pretty much full time back into, you know, building houses and really escalating that company and scaling that as much as I can.
Okay.
While staying on with the peanut butter and, you know, seeing how that goes and assist in any way I need to.
With marketing or however else you can.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you generate some meaningful revenue with the Maniball before it kind of got acquired?
Yeah. I mean, it's all like gross revenue, just trying to build up sales. We're not really looking at like the net. I mean, anything that was made was put back into the company, just trying to gain traction, sales and distribution while also putting money into like brand recognition and just getting people to know about it because they don't know about it. So you got to get hands to lips, get people trying it, get people tasting it, and, you know, getting it popping up on people's Instagram feeds and things like that and being like, what is that? You know, just the curiosity, and that's kind of how it can grow over time.
Cool. Yeah. So then it's based on the growth factor. So you look at the gross receipts and then they know that they can grow the brand.
Yeah. In the alcohol space, it's all about cases sold. It's the main thing. It's when every time you have an exit, it's all based off that. So that's your goal, is to every year keep stacking those cases.
And getting it into more stores so that more cases can be sold and have more awareness.
Picking up the distribution outlets to then you start seeing it like in chains and seeing those high volume orders from like large hospitality groups. You know, the mom and pop liquor store is great, but it's not going to be a game changer for you because they're buying like one case a month. It's about getting into Albertsons and they turn you on into 100 stores and they're buying pallets of this stuff. That's where you start to grow and see the volume. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're family friends with some of the Ballast Point people.
Yeah.
And then they obviously went to Cutwater and it was, they made a bunch of money on that.
Yeah.
But supposedly they were more wrapped up in distribution beforehand. So they kind of knew the channels.
Yeah.
But interesting.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. How fun too.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's a fun business. It was great. It was a lot of parties and late nights at first, I recall, and glad that's kind of over.
Well, you're tasting tequila all day.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you're going to accounts, you're taking shots at like 10 a.m. when you don't want to, but you know, the person's like, oh, you got to try your product with me. And I'm like, I've already had it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
If you say no, it's going to like turn them off. Or,
right.
I don't know. But
okay. Cheers.
Yeah. Throwing a lot of shots behind your back and honestly, just explaining the story and the process a lot too. I mean, you're telling that story, that process every day. And it's like, sometimes you're like, all right, I got to tell this again. Like, you know, just like, all right, here we go. Yeah. So it's just a lot of talking, putting on a good smile, and it's fun though. You know, it's a really interesting business. It was never a boring day or a dull moment. So
yeah, for sure.
So are you more passionate, just having fun there? Are you more passionate about real estate now than you were?
Yeah.
Or
I'm starting to like the real estate more. The brand side, like I just always have that entrepreneurship side. So I love like creating a brand, that kind of thing. And then seeing it like come to life and then seeing the people involved. But I mean, there's nothing cooler than some random person kind of coming up to you or just talking about your product in like a positive way. And you're just kind of like sitting there behind the curtain, like, oh, that's mine, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool. I think it's like a cool, fulfilling part, or just seeing random people like wearing your merch, you know, when you're like traveling, or I'll go up to like Napa to go to a project and I just see Maniball at like a random liquor store on a shelf. Cause like, I don't know, you know, 90% of the accounts it's in, I can go on like the stock list sheet, but distributors are selling the product all the time. So I'll just go places and see it randomly, you know, I'm like, oh, there it is. That's in that Albertsons, or it's there. Saw like a Maniball hat at a thrift store one time in Alpine. It's like, you know, just random stuff like that. So
that's fun. Yeah. It's really fun.
It is fun. I've always thought it'd be fun to like, when you start something from scratch and you can get it some traction. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. See kind of it evolve from the ground up. It's fun. Yeah.
And the idea, I mean, people ask me all the time, like, how'd you create this? How'd you start it? Like, what's the procedures? And I'm like, I didn't know anything about the alcohol business when I started Octavio. I did not know anything, like just trial and error and just kind of going along with it and just figuring stuff out. I still don't probably have the greatest grasp on the industry, although I've learned a lot. And there's now people coming to me to be like, can you help me run my brand? Can you help me run my product? I just learned this by just like doing it. And just like, I made mistakes along the way. Also learned from a lot of other people and wasn't like arrogant or trying to think. I just like, you know, tell me what to do. I'll take ideas from you, And you
figure it out.
Because there's people coming to you all the time saying they have the magic key too, which most of the time they don't, but it's, you know, figuring out those areas. And it's like anything though. I just, you know, I had an idea and I kind of just like executed on it and just kind of went all in on it and just, you know, had this idea to make a peanut butter tequila and just through weeks and months, just like turned it into a brand, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So and then you're shifting focus back and you wanted to scale the home building business. Is there a particular market you're excited about or opportunity zone that you're looking at?
I mean, Napa's a great market for reasons of one, the land is cheap. There's a big buyer pool up there. It's cheaper to build up there. And it's also, you have this huge influx of buyers from like the Silicon Valley, big like tech CEO people that are super liquid, sold a company, whatever, that want their vacation weekend getaway up in Napa. So it's a good area to build in. It's definitely, you can make, I think, better profit margins up there versus like San Diego, just because it's land's down here is expensive. But it's exciting. You know, it's like a treasure hunt kind of business model where like, you know, some homes we make nothing. Some we make a lot. Right. And it's about like, you never know when that next deal is going to fall in your lap. The other day I had like a deal fall in, was like this house was being built. It's almost done. Great house in La Jolla, great location, but it's like in foreclosure. So the person needs to like get rid of it. And we just put an offer in today, try to slide in there, finish the home, take us like a month to finish it, sell it and make like a great profit margin. So like that all just came from like word of mouth from a broker, relationships I built over the years.
And that guy got himself in a pickle with debt.
Yeah. Stuff like that. You know, it's like, it just, I get hundreds of deals sent to me every week and it only takes one. Most time, even out of 100, there's going to be 0. But, you know, it's like the Malibu project. I was like, oh, this looks too good to be true. And I kind of looked into it, analyzed the numbers. I was like, well, it is true. Yeah. Let's do it.
Do this one. Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't always happen, but that's just the name of spec home building. It's exciting and it's fun and it's risky, but if you know what you're doing, you can minimize the risk for sure.
Totally. And you got to, in order to maximize something like that, there's always risk involved. I mean, even your tequila, you didn't know that it was going to work, but you still like made focus and pushed to do it and put your mind to it and did it. And I feel like, when you decide to do something, there's no, you know, manual that tells you how to do it. You got to just figure it out and make connections and relationships and keep figuring it out. So I think that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
So what drives like the trends?
I know.
Like how do you stay ahead of it or make sure that you build what people want
in the areas that they want too?
That's tricky.
Yeah. We have our own style in every area we build in. Like in San Diego, we're doing mostly coastal right now. Rancho Santa Fe, there's a ton of inventory on the market. I think it's riskier, but coastal, we have like, I think that modern contemporary trend is really hot right now. Big storefront looking windows. We have like our signature kind of mirrors in the bathrooms we use, or like the tile we use, different things like that. We work with an architect called EOS Architecture that's been super hot right now, that we've built a lot of homes with their designs. But it's also like working with the different brokers because they're the ones that are working with these buyers and selling to them. So they know, you know, what people like. And so I talk to them a lot, you know, interior designers too. Just what do you think next is going to be what people want? You know, like in Napa Valley, it's different. We don't build modern contemporary. It's more like a farmhouse kind of look. And there's might be more traditional style vineyard estate. So just like working with the brokers up there and being like, what are some recent homes you guys sold that are getting paid top dollar? What does it look like inside? And just kind of piggybacking off people's things while still having our own creativity as well. Like doing different wallpapers in the bathrooms or just keeping it cool and different. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's cool. It's a spec home. So it's your design. You can do what you want, but figuring out, you know, what most people are going to want to see in that home based around the buyer. But I would say just like the brokers, having good relationships with them, talking to them all the time. That's where you find the deals. And also, you know, when you get down to the drywalls and the paint, everything, okay, what appliances should we be using? What hardwood floors, what tiles, things like that. And even like the tile companies know they're selling people as well. You can talk to them and
they're some of their most popular or whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's loving this right now.
Yeah. This black stone from wherever is like super hot right now,
Yeah.
So things like that for sure.
Do you have inside like designers that help make all of those decisions then?
Yeah, we do. Some of like our staging companies, like a lot of them have like interior designers within their company. So, they're picking out the furniture they think will look good, but they can also help us with like wallpaper, cabinetry, things like that. I take everyone's feedback into account.
Yeah.
Lately, like our homes in San Diego all kind of have the same style, same tile, same, backsplashes and cabinetry and things like that. But we're always looking for new. I follow like Instagram accounts where like these developers make these really cool things inside the house, where it's like a sunken living room or fireplace, or they have like we did in the Del Mar project, we did like a wellness room downstairs with like sauna, cold plunge, like features like that. Just kind of figuring out like, cool ways where the buyer comes in. They're like, wow, like that area is super cool. It's not just like a 4-bedroom house with a master and a kitchen. It has a bowling alley or a TV that pops up out of the island in the kitchen or something cool, of that sort. So just giving it like a little pizzazz and something different than maybe what else they're looking at.
And then when you add the furnishings and stuff, it brings it all together.
Yeah.
Have you had somebody walk in and I want the whole thing, furniture and everything? Like, do you ever sell the furniture?
I think a lot of people lately, and that's the goal of the staging company. They make more money if, we're paying them to use the furniture and they stage and all that. But if the buyer wants to buy the furniture, they get paid more too. So we want to stage the house in a way that it's like done. It's desirable. There, like, Restoration Hardware or whatever, they like, and it's like, they love the living room couch. They love the beds. They love everything, We'll
just keep it all. And that's easy. Then it's really take the keys, move your clothes into the closet and they're done.
Yeah. And a lot of these are second, third homes for these buyers. They're not necessarily living there full time. They might, people buy in San Diego, they have a house in San Francisco or LA or Napa. They have houses other places. So, they're going to have to buy new furniture for these homes regardless. So the goal is to use, the top staging companies that we use where they're picking the right, trendy looking furniture that matches those areas and they end up buying it.
It's not staging furniture. It's like actual real
nice
furniture.
It's like can be taken out, but
I feel like that's such a funny thing. Like in the day I used to like sit on, it's like, but this isn't even real. At this level, it's supreme.
It's real.
These companies now are buying brand new furniture and putting it in the home.
Yeah.
It's top grade, top of the line.
Well, and it goes with the home and just like the whole thing then vibes together.
Yeah, exactly.
So then when you walk in, it's just like the feel is great. Yeah. That's amazing.
I want to come to one of your open houses locally. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd love that too. Yeah. Walking through and seeing it all. Oh my gosh.
I'll do a date night. My wife loves all this stuff.
Shanae would love it.
Oh, yeah. Come walk through the house. Yeah, babe, look at it.
I know.
It's only 14 million,
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, most of the time it's like someone looked at the Del Mar project like the other week and she started some company that had like a baby strap thing and she sold it for like 100 million. And I was looking at the agent and I was like, what are we doing?
Right.
Just like these people always have these like really cool, great ideas. I've met, CEOs of like Uber and New York Times best-selling authors. And it's cool to meet all those people and interact with them.
Yeah. And learn from them or learn,
doers, like people that just grab it life and do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Fitness people that have, sold like gym brands and all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a target market, like it's because as you go up in price, your pool of people who are buying those is less and less, but it's so the stories like that you learn from those people are just, I love to hear that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So then, is there a big goal or a big future kind of as a wrap up? Like, is there something that you're painting as a big target?
For the business side, just with the tequila company, I'm excited to get this new company off the ground running this, full time and just kind of see where that goes. And the sky's the limit for that. I don't know whether I'll still be involved or have some capacity of being on like the marketing side or be traveling around. I'd love to. At the end of the day, it was like my brand and like my baby, and I think they'll do well with it. And with the real estate side, it's, scaling, just finding better deals, higher profit deals. And just keep creating these masterpieces. I think it's just kind of feeding the beast. And that's like the business side. And then, there's a whole other side that I'm interested in was, I'm really into like, the fitness side and running. And I'm getting into this new thing called High Rocks, which is kind of like a new glorified CrossFit Games kind of thing.
Okay.
So one of my goals is to try to go pro in that. It's like the fastest growing sport in the world right now.
Nice.
Yeah. It started in
is it like CrossFit or is
it's like CrossFit, but it's more functional workouts. It's considered more like a hybrid. It's the race itself. It's usually like in an arena in a convention center. It's 8 kilometers of running and then 8 functional workouts. You do ski, you do a sled push, sled pull, you do rowing, farmer's carries, sandbag, walking lunges, wall balls, burpees. Those are like the 8 kind of things. So you go a kilometer and then do like 1,000-meter ski, kilometer, and then you do 8 and then you finish. The top guys are doing it like under an hour. There's 80 races around the world now. It's like they have a full men's women's circuit kind of thing. These guys are making lots of money getting sponsored by big brands. Puma is like one of the main sponsors of them. They do races all around the US. There's the championships are in Chicago. So I'm doing Houston, Miami, and then New York at the end of May. So I'm signed up for a bunch.
Races.
Yeah. So I like this whole other side. I got into like ultra marathons recently. Me and my buddy ran from LA to San Diego, which was interesting. It was like 101 miles. And then just the fitness community, I'm always, centered around, the gym. And my dad was like a big triathlete growing up. So I've always kind of been around him and cycling and running and I run almost every day. It's like a passion of mine. So yeah.
How many races have you done?
For High Rocks, I just did the first one in Anaheim a couple months ago.
Okay.
And then, but prior to that, I was trying like the triathlon thing. Mm-hmm. Did a couple half Ironmans, like couple Olympic distances, things like that.
Yeah.
Did like 5 marathons last year. And still have goals of doing some marathons this year, trying to break like a sub 3 hour marathon, a couple half marathons, and then the High Rocks. I just want to get, fast as possible out and see what I can do with that.
Good for you.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's hauling butt under 3 hours.
And then the ultras are more just like a mental achievement, a journey. Me and my buddy, it's called like the Speed Project, but we're doing that first week in May where it's like a relay race. So we get like 6 people together and we'll run from, I think we're gonna do San Diego to San Francisco. So it's like 550 miles. You run and just keep basically rotating until you get there and you don't stop. And the goal is to go as fast as possible. Hence the Speed Project. But,
wow.
So there's 6 of you guys. So you'll run like 100-ish.
Like 5 miles, whatever, 2 miles, keep stacking
and you just keep going. Okay.
Yeah. Depending on the terrain or whatever.
Yeah.
People get tired, whatever. I mean, the goal is to be running fast versus like a ultra where we did on our own, like 101 miles. We were running pretty slow, but we did the whole thing,
Right.
Those are always, those are experiences for sure.
Yeah.
Very hard on the body, but you can get it done. Feels good.
Well, and what an achievement to say you've done is kind of cool to do. Yeah. Any other tequila flavor ideas that you would want to execute or try to execute?
I was working on a new flavor as of recently, but that's got to go on hold for some reasons for a little while. But my hope is to eventually do that flavor in the next couple of years.
Cool.
But it's like the trends, it's going back to like real estate. It's the same thing with products. It's like, all right, what's going to be the next thing? What are people going into? I've been looking into like mushrooms or, CBDs kind of, you've been seeing these like alcohol companies coming out in that realm or, flavored tequilas on the rise. So it's just kind of like brainstorming and figuring out,
a lot of like mushroom drinks have been kind of like they're getting like a high off of these mushroom right? I don't know. You probably know more, but like, where it's putting the lion's mane or certain things in.
I started drinking coffee probably 3 years ago. And then recently I've been turned on to this like mushroom coffee stuff, which it's like a lot less caffeine, but it like gives you this a lot more alert energy and things like that.
People swear by the benefits of the mushrooms.
There's this one brand called Life, Lyfe, that I drink like every day. You can buy it at like markets around here online. And it's just like 1 scoop of the powder and a glass of water stirred around and I drink that every morning.
Does it taste like coffee?
It does. To me, that one tastes kind of like coconutty, or I don't know, but it's it just kind of gives you like you don't have the crash from it. You have more like a good alert energy sustained throughout the day. You don't get like the jitters, things like that. I've been really interested in kind of the mushroom space going forward ever since doing that coffee and learning about other supplements, that can help a lot with even like athletic performance or endurance or things like that. I think there's a whole space of mushrooms that is like really coming out now. So maybe there's a way to introduce it into like alcohol. I haven't seen a whole lot of that. So it was something you're, maybe looking into.
There's another niche you could kind of maybe attack.
I've seen like non-alcoholic mushroom, like sodas and drinks, that kind of give you like a euphoric, maybe something of some sort. Which is replacing the alcohol and like not having the hangover and stuff. So that's why people are doing that. But maybe actually doing an alcohol one that, counterbalancing the two.
I bought some of those recess drinks that are non-alcoholic, just like something to sip on. And they have some other thing in them that makes them kind of calming. But I'm like, man, this margarita, it tastes like it'd be great with some tequila. Like they make really good mixed drinks, but it's not booze.
It's missing the tequila piece.
But it's, it's cool. It's kind of fun to have different options.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, people got like, there's like non-alcoholic tequilas now, and which
I've tried some of that stuff, like just from friends, and it's like, what the hell's the point?
Right, exactly.
Like if you're gonna just not drink or drink, you know.
But I think like the non-alcoholic beer space was a great idea when that all came out, because so many people enjoy that taste of beer, and then they partner with like Ironman and different endurance brands, and like brands like Athletic Brewing and stuff, took off because it was just like a great idea to like have. People can enjoy that because I think after you do an endurance race like that, for me at least too, like I run a marathon for some reason, or maybe another reason, but the first thing I crave is a beer. So it's like
celebratory,
but some people don't drink, but they can still enjoy like that taste. Or I think it actually helps a lot with people that are like recovering alcoholics and stuff, that the non-alcoholic beers like literally save their life because they need that taste, but they can now refer to that and not actually have alcohol in it. So, and then they partner with all these, athletic brands and races and companies. It's like, it's a gold mine.
Thought of that. That's good.
I've been seeing that a lot lately. Different people. Dry January or whatever.
That's been
athletic.
Big. Those brands crush it during dry January.
Because everyone's working out and not drinking, so it's like a win.
The gyms and the non-alcoholic beers are booming. Well, then we get back to February, everyone falls off the wagon.
Exactly.
We'll see who stays on.
It sounds like you guys are and have big things planned in the works. So good for you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats on everything.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we're excited to see what other flavor you may be coming out with in tequila.
I'll let you know.
See what you got going. I got to walk through one of these houses.
Maniball in the office for we need Friday night hangouts. Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for being here. Yeah. It's really fun chatting with you and getting to know you.
Me.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right.
Be in touch. Thanks for joining the CashFlow Quest. Cheers. See you next time.